I married a homeless man to inherit my grandfather's fortune. 6 months later, the FBI knocked on my door and called him by a name I'd never heard before. When my grandfather died, I thought I'd lost the only person who ever believed in me. Then his lawyer handed me his will. I expected money. Instead, I got a condition. To inherit my estate, my granddaughter must be legally married within 6 months. If I failed, everything would be donated to charity. I had just been dumped 3 weeks earlier. My ex-fiancé left me for my boss's daughter. Marriage wasn't exactly on my to-do list. At first, I tried dating apps. Disaster. Blind dates. Worse. Then one rainy evening, everything changed. I was leaving my office when I saw a man sitting outside a closed bookstore. He wasn't begging. He was reading. An old, worn copy of The Count of Monte Cristo. Curious, I asked, "You actually like that book?" Without looking up, he smiled. "It isn't about revenge. It's about patience." That answer caught me off guard. We talked for nearly an hour. His name was Noah. He had been living on the streets for almost a year, not because of addiction, not because of crime. He simply said, "Someone stole my life." I assumed he meant it metaphorically. Before leaving, I offered him dinner, then a hotel room. He refused both. Finally, I made him an unbelievable offer. "Marry me." He stared at me. I explained everything. The inheritance, the deadline, the contract. I promised him $2 million after 6 months. He quietly asked, "What if I say no?" "I'll respect it." He thought for nearly 5 minutes. Then finally said, "Only if we're honest with each other." We signed legal agreements, got married in a courthouse, separate bedrooms, separate lives, just business, or so I thought. Over the next few months, I noticed something strange. Noah spoke 5 languages. He played the piano beautifully. He knew fine wines, could quote classical literature. He certainly didn't behave like someone who had spent years homeless. Whenever I asked about his past, he smiled. One day, then came the first twist, 6 months after our wedding. The inheritance officially became mine. I transferred Noah's money exactly as promised. That evening, he packed his bags. "I guess this is goodbye." Oddly. The thought broke my heart. Before either of us could say anything else, someone knocked on the front door. Not one person. 6 FBI agents. My heart stopped. The lead agent looked directly at Noah. "Good evening, Mr. Alexander Sinclair." I looked at Noah. "Who?" The agent repeated. "Alexander Sinclair." Noah sighed. "I was hoping for one more quiet day." I couldn't speak. The agents explained everything. Alexander Sinclair wasn't homeless. He had once been the youngest CEO of one of the largest cybersecurity companies in the country. 3 years earlier, his own business partners framed him for corporate espionage. His accounts were frozen, his reputation destroyed. He disappeared before he could be arrested. Why? Because he knew the real criminals wanted him dead. He spent years secretly gathering evidence, living under another name, waiting, patiently, just like the book he'd been reading. Then came the second twist. He wasn't hiding from the FBI. He was secretly working with them. The investigation had finally ended. His former partners had been arrested that morning. Hundreds of millions of dollars recovered. The agents congratulated him, then left. I stood there speechless. "You lied to me," he nodded. "I omitted the truth. I promised I'd tell you one day. I just didn't know if I'd survive long enough." I should have been furious. Instead, I laughed, actually laughed, because somehow marrying a homeless stranger had turned into marrying one of the country's most wanted witnesses. Then came the biggest surprise. A week later, Alexander returned, not to collect his things, to hand me divorce papers. I kept my promise. "You're free." I looked at him. "Is that what you want?" He stayed silent, then quietly admitted, "No, but I don't know if you can trust me." I walked over, tore the divorce papers in half. "You lied about your name. You didn't lie about who you are." 6 months later, he proposed again. This time, without contracts, without deadlines, without conditions, just love, today. People often ask how we met. Alexander always smiles before answering. "My wife rescued me." I usually correct him. "No, we rescued each other." Because sometimes the greatest fortune isn't the inheritance you receive. It's the unexpected person standing beside you when you finally stop looking for perfection. What would you have done if you discovered the homeless man you married was secretly a billionaire hiding from dangerous criminals? Would you have forgiven Noah for keeping his identity secret? Comment below what you think.